One of the most popular horror games ever created, and that's why today here at Leaderboard, we are going to be doing 107 facts about Five Nights at Freddy's. Number 1. Five Nights at Freddy is a point-and-click survival horror game created by Scott Cawthon. It was released on August 8th, 2014 on Desera, and then 12 days later released on Steam after being greenlit. It has also been ported over to Android and iOS platforms. Number 2. Five Nights at Freddy was created using the Click Team Fusion 2.5 engine. Number 3. FNAF has been subject to a lot of successful Let's Play videos on YouTube. This has had an influence on the game's wide success. Number 4. In addition to creating the game, Scott is the voice of Phone Guy. Number 5. FazbearEntertainments.com actually redirects to Scott's site, ScottGames.com. Number 6. Five Nights at Freddy actually happened because Scott received criticism from his last title, Chippers and Sons Lumber Co. Players ridiculed the main character and said that it looked like a scary animatronic animal. Reviewer Jim Sterling said the game was unintentionally terrifying. While his initial reaction to this was depression, he ended up using this as fuel to create an intentional horror game. And we all know how that worked out. Number 7. In April 2015, Warner Brothers Pictures announced that they secured the rights for the adaptation of Five Nights at Freddy's. Number 8. Markiplier is considered the king of Five Nights at Freddy's by the majority of the community. Number 9. Markiplier's Let's Play series on the game is also thought to be one of the reasons the game is so successful. Number 10. Scott is a member of Hope Animation, a project of Christian animators who aim to spread the teachings of Jesus Christ. Number 11. In all the games, if the player completes all Five Nights at Freddy's, a sixth night is unlocked. In Five Nights at Freddy's 3, Night 6 is also called Nightmare. Number 12. Upon completion of Night 6 in the first two games, a custom level editor mode is unlocked. Number 13. In the online Five Nights at Freddy's community, the most popular character is Foxy the Pirate. Number 14. The Living Tombstone has created 3 songs based on the series, one for each game thus far, and the songs have become wildly successful. Number 15. The security guard from the first game is named Mike Schmidt. This of course is known because his name is written on the checks received on Night 5 and Night 6. Number 16. There are 5 animatronics in the first Five Nights at Freddy's game. Bonnie the Bunny, Chica the Chicken, Foxy the Fox, Freddy Fazbear, and Golden Freddy. Number 17. The laugh that Golden Freddy makes is actually an unedited version of Freddy's laugh when he's moving. Number 18. Freddy has hard to see handprints across his face. I wonder how they got there. Number 19. In the first game, there's a celebrate poster in your office, and by clicking on Freddy's nose, yes, nose, it will play a honking sound. Number 20. In the second game, the same noise can be heard by clicking on Toy Freddy's nose. In the third, you can hear it by clicking the Freddy Drawings nose. Number 21. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 was released on Steam in November 11th, 2014, earlier than his planned time frame of 2015. Number 22. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 takes place in 1987 prior to the events that happened in Five Nights at Freddy's 1. Number 23. A demo of Five Nights at Freddy's 3 was given a limited release on March 1st, 2015. Hours later, the game was fully released on March 2nd on Steam. Number 24. Five Nights at Freddy's 3 takes place 30 years after the original game and takes place in Fazbear Fright, the horror attraction. Number 25. If Nightmare mode is completed, the player is shown a newspaper clipping that states that Freddy's Fright has burnt down. Surviving items were sold at a public auction. Number 26. Brightening up the newspaper clippings reveals that Springtrap may still be alive as he can be seen in the background. Number 27. In the same newspaper clipping, blurred text can be seen surrounding the focal article. If you read carefully, there's actually some really cool information that Scott has documented. Number 28. In many of Scott's games, he has found that there has been a broken down robot. He himself has stated that he is unsure why this is a reoccurring theme in his work, but in his own words, he says, "It's obvious that something is haunting me." Number 29. While Scott was working on the first game of the series, he created a crowdfunding campaign for it. It raised a whopping sum of exactly $0. Sorry, Scott, we just didn't know then. We just didn't know. Number 30. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy were originally just placeholder nicknames that Scott was using for the characters while he was working on the development of the game, but grew attached to them and eventually used them as the actual names for the characters. Number 31. In the original game, it was Scott's plan to have Freddy be a stationary character. He would would only attack when the player's power and time ran out. However, Scott changed his mind because he wanted Freddy to have more floor time and changed his AI programming to what it is now. From night 3 onwards, he hunts you down. Number 32. In real life, Scott tends to have walking nightmares. One night, he had a dream that Bonnie was outside of his door, so he physically jumped out of his bed, rushed to the door to hold it shut. Scott discovered that his door was already locked, which terrified him because he believed that Bonnie was lurking somewhere inside the room. Thankfully, he woke up safe and sound. Number 33. Foxy was modeled on Scott's laptop while he was in the car riding for a 24-hour drive. This drive is to visit his in-laws in the summer of 2014. He said, and I quote, "It is very difficult to model a 3D character on a bumpy car ride. Maybe this is why Foxy looks so torn up." Poor Foxy. Number 34. While on the trip, Scott's kids got to experience Foxy's jump scare for the first time. Number 35. The name of the protagonist in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is Jeremy Fitzgerald, as you can see on the paychecks given to you on night 5 and night 6. Number 36. In the custom night of Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Jeremy is replaced by Fritz Smith, who is then fired after that one single evening. Number 37. The protagonist in Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is the only protagonist not to be named in the series. I wonder why that is. Number 38. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza was originally named Fredbear Family Diner. Number 39. The puppet is the only animatronic without teeth. Number 40. In the first night of Five Nights at Freddy's 1, the phone guy reveals that the animatronics have not been cleaned in over 20 years. Ew. Number 41. Balloon Boy is the only animatronic that speaks using full words. Number 42. Balloon Boy is also the only animatronic who speaks with a non-distorted human voice. Number 43. In Five Nights at Freddy's 1, Mike Schmidt only gets paid $4 an hour, which roughly fits the minimum wage of the 1990s. Number 44. In the gameplay footage of Five Nights at Freddy's 1 that Scott uploaded to his YouTube channel, it seems that East Hall was originally going to be called Backstage. Number 45. In the same footage found on Scott's YouTube channel, the East Hall corner was originally labeled as W Hall Corner, in addition to the actual West Hall corner. Number 46. According to the phone guy in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, there was a secret safe room. It's for the employees and was invisible to the animatronics, unmapped and hidden from cameras. Number 47. Due to budget restrictions, the safe room has been covered by a false wall. The map of the minigames in the third game reveals that the safe room is by the bathrooms near the entrance. Number 48. The minigames in Five Nights at Freddy's 3 point to the safe room as being the location where 5 children were murdered. Number 49. Springtrap is the only true animatronic in Five Nights at Freddy's 3 and is also the only animatronic that can kill you. All other animatronics seen in the games are phantoms or hallucinations. Number 50. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is actually a restaurant chain with multiple locations that is mentioned sometimes by the phone guy. Number 51. Phone guy refers to Springtrap as Spring Bonnie. Number 52. There are rare boot images for Five Nights at Freddy's 3 that seems to show human remains in Springtrap's suit. Number 53. In the first gameplay video that Scott released, the game seemed a little bit more pixelated. Number 54. In that same video, there was a graphic of a man standing with one beside him at the starting screen. Seems like Scott was planning to include lives at some point. Number 55. It seems that lives were also taken into consideration for the second game, based on unused content of a small bar with the word lives and a pixel stick figure. Number 56. The second game also has an unused graphic of an empty meter named Toxic. It's unknown what purpose it was going to serve. Number 57. A slightly more terrifying unused graphic shows a portion of what seems to be a skull. It has visible teeth and black streaming out of the only eye shown. Interestingly, it was named Mike, which is also the protagonist of the first game. Number 58. The laugh heard when Freddy moves is actually a slowed down audio clip of a little girl giggling. An example. Yep, I'm a little girl. Number 59. When Freddy moves, running footsteps can be heard, which implies that he can run like Foxy. Number 60. Despite having a girlish name, Scott has confirmed that Bonnie is a male. Number 61. Scott finds Bonnie to be the most terrifying animatronic in the game. Number 62. Bonnie was also the first animatronic added to the game. Number 63. Unlike the other animatronics in the first game, Bonnie has no eyebrows. Number 64. In the trailer of the first game, Bonnie Bonnie is shown running down the hallway, this later being given to Foxy. Number 65. If you pay attention, you'll notice that Foxy's ears clip into the top of the door during his jump scares in the first game. Number 66. Foxy is the only animatronic in the first game with teeth on his upper jaw. Number 67. A closer look at the drawings in Kids Cove revealed two scribbles where kids are ripping apart Mangle. Number 68. The music box in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 keeps the puppet away. It can be wind remotely, but its actual location is the prize counter. Number 69. If the music box stays unwound, you can see the puppet gradually starting to rise from the gift box. Number 70. The music box melody is a sample from Fisher-Price teaching clock toy from the 1960s. Number 71. Children's drawings of the puppet depict him with handles and strings. These are noticeably absent in his appearance except when he's at the prize corner. Number 72. According to Scott, the fourth installment of Five Nights at Freddy's will be the last game in the series. With that said, Scott has confirmed that Bonnie will get a spin-off game where he goes to an amusement park with Foxy. I'm just kidding, I just wanted to get you excited. That'd be stupid. Hashtag Bonnie Coaster 2015. Number 73. Five Nights at Freddy's 4 is set to be released October 31st, 2015, which means we are gonna have the scariest Halloween of all time. Number 74. Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is the only game without Bonnie as an active antagonist. Number 75. Mangle is the redesigned version of Foxy meant to be more kid-friendly. Number 76. Mangle is not kid-friendly. That's a fact, okay? Number 77. Mangle and Foxy are the only two counterparts who can regularly occupy the same room. Number 78. If you look closely in Kids Cove, you can see the white iris of Mangle's eye staring directly at you through the camera. Number 79. In Five Nights at Freddy's 2, there are two characters that will still attack you even if you're wearing the Freddy Fazbear head. Those two characters being the puppet and Foxy. Number 80. The puppet and its mechanics are based on the popular form of children's toy Jack in the Box. Number 81. In Five Nights at Freddy's 2, once you hear Pop Goes the Weasel, be careful because that means the puppet is coming for you. Number 82. Based on a hallucination in which it appears, one can assume that the puppet is tall and lanky. It appears to stretch from the floor to the ceiling of the pizzeria. Number 83. Despite being a chicken, Chica looks quite like a duck. This has led to her fans calling her Duck or Duck Duck back in the early days of the game's release. Number 84. Scott has said that he originally planned to have Balloon Boy and the puppet make it in the first game, but they didn't make the cut. Number 85. In one call, Phone Guy suggests to play dead to keep the animatronics at bay. This led to speculation that staying still would keep you from dying, but a look at the game's code revealed otherwise. Number 86. Golden Freddy was originally just a name that fans came up with, but it was confirmed canon in the custom night mode in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Number 87. The electric static coming from Mangle is telemetry from an unmanned drone. You can even hear a few words spoken by the drone's controller. Number 88. Before his name was revealed to be Springtrap, fans referred to him as Golden Bonnie, Salvage, Franken Bonnie, and Mr. Twitchy. I kinda like Mr. Twitchy the best. Number 89. Before Five Nights at Freddy's 3 was released, Scott jokingly made a post saying that the game had been canceled because someone had leaked the game fully online. What he was referring to is actually a copy of There Is No Play Button, a game that Scott previously created with Freddy's face plastered onto the sprite. As you play, the troll song continuously plays in the background. Number 90. Following the reveal of Five Nights at Freddy's 4, fans noticed that the HTML of the game's site was littered with 8s and 7s. While some took it as a reference to the byte of 87, some people took the numbers as coordinates. They plugged them into a map and I kid you not, found a pizzeria. Fans then decided to call the pizzeria and bomb them with questions about Five Nights at Freddy's. The crazy thing is, this was just an uncanny coincidence. Scott actually had to make his first Reddit post ever begging his fans to leave the poor pizzeria alone. That's just amazing. Number 91. In the trailer for Five Nights at Freddy's, Bonnie removes his mask to reveal his endoskeleton. In the final version of the game, none of the animatronics do this. This may be because it's against the rules for an animatronic to be without its costume. Number 92. Scott has released a series of terrifying teaser images for Five Nights at Freddy's 4 that depict terrifying versions of the animatronics. Scary, 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 snake tongue. Automatically scary. Number 93. In mobile versions of the game, the animatronics are more aggressive than their PC counterparts. Number 94. Also in the mobile version of Five Nights at Freddy's, the nights are shorter. Number 95. In the first Five Nights at Freddy's game, the animatronics come after you alphabetically. Number 96. The bear endoskeleton in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 has a head that closely resembles resembles MIT's Kismet robot. Number 97. Bonnie and Chica both travel through the dining area in the first game. If you compare their appearances in that space, Bonnie appears to be a lot taller than Chica. Number 98. In other appearances, they seem to be the same scale, so this might have been an oversight. Number 99. If you pay attention, you can notice differences in the endoskeletons of the toy animatronics and the original ones. Toy animatronics have a different mouth and a more protective frame. We made it. Number 100. In the third game, booting an individual system takes 5 seconds. Booting them all takes 8 to 9 seconds. This can save you time, but sometimes it allows Springtrap to reach you even if he's all the way across the building. So weigh your options carefully. Number 101. It's funny how Jeremy can shine a flashlight in the third game's rooms and brighten them up. He's not physically in any of these spaces, and we all know pointing a flashlight at a monitor or a camera doesn't quite work like that. It could be that each camera has a light attached to it that can be accessed remotely, but with that said, why does it drain your flashlight battery power? Long story short, the flashlight mechanics don't make much sense. Or maybe we as a community read too much into everything. Number 102. In 1 month on YouTube, Five Nights at Freddy's as a whole had received over 1 billion views. That's pretty crazy. Number 103. Are you sick of listening to the phone guy? Well, did you know that in all 3 games you can mute him by hitting the mute call button? I'm sure that was the fact you guys were all waiting for. Number 104. In the first and third game, the phone calls get shorter and shorter as the nights progress. Number 105. As mentioned earlier, the extra menu in the third game includes something called Minigames. Interestingly enough, the Happiest Day minigame that is present in-game is not accessible through the menu. Number 106. Scott's website warns fans to beware of impersonators. He doesn't have an active Twitch or Twitter account. People lying on the internet? No way. And finally, number 107. In the first game, whenever Foxy bangs on the door, a portion of the player's power drains. It starts at 1% but increases by 5% every time he comes by. Thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to like this video if you like this video, to let us know that you like this video because it took forever to make. In the comment section down below, post Five Nights at Freddy facts that we missed and let us know what your favorite animatronic is. We will see you in the next video. Thank you for subscribing.